Fortunately, we didn't really have enough to be able to get back in to that basket area, which means that that clam and, like you said, that push is going to be dead. Now we can see here we've got a pretty solid representation of who is going to be in the lead here pretty soon. We see that Tenta Sorella pop their 10, gets a really nice toss into that clam basket here as they manage to open it here, and we only have a minute left on the clock, which is really how these things go sometimes.
2 power clams on the map, one of them is unattended. The other one's with a tri-striker.
But 2 power clams in play here, looking like they're gonna try and make a break for it as overtime begins to tick over. If they can get both of those power clams in the basket, unfortunately, both of those power clams do end up going down, and it is just an absolute stagger as they wipe out, and unfortunately, that means that is going to be probably the end of that overtime. They're trying to get control of the stacks here. Unfortunately, we're not really able to do much. That Booyah Bomb's going to be thrown into mid now, trying to get a cap, but it's just really looking like it's a solid purple lead here, you know?
Very unlike the first game.
Yeah. Ooh, really nice pick onto speed here. Huddsies doing a really good job of holding that stack. But it's looking like there might be a neutralization of the zone here.
The Dynamo just went down, so.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
But the members of Chew Gum are already back onto that ramp here. They are protecting that checkpoint with their life. One member of Worcester Drivers does end up going down, and those triple ink strikes are keeping Disco back.
And then someone's chasing them on one side of.
Ooh. Really nasty 3 down here. We can see those Dapple Doolies just in that bats area. Does get a really nice run over from that Reef Slider. Does not end up taking more, but does go down. It's just really hard, but I feel like that tent is going to make it so much easier for them to get points. And as I say that, we're already down to 23 points remaining on that side, but they are 3 down. Really bad advantage state, but we can see Rainey here just chilling out by that checkpoint, which is exactly what you want to do. On Worcester Drivers, as we can see Bean here grabs the Rainmaker once again, but Disco is not far behind. Disco does end up going down here. Arzen here just trying their best to keep that ramp clear. Does get a really nice trade, but splatted by the Sorella Brella, which is really not good if you want to keep those points under your control. That shield, like we saw earlier, just an absolute menace to deal with, and Rennie is still alive. Double and then getting Aura afterwards really helped them out here. Now we do have to pop that Rainmaker and pick it up if we want to have a chance at overtime here, but unfortunately it's not looking good.
Angel's got the first push. See that Wellstring.
Wellstring, really, honestly, good pick for this map. There's a lot of really interesting architecture to play around here. I was about to say archaeology, but that is not the correct word for this. That's a completely other map mode. Sharky's Angels does end up going 3 down in the moment. Tobal here just on a really good portion of the map, just trying their best to be like that aggressive Dapple Doolies that you do want to see. Being just tower dancing endlessly as one is wont to do. Sharky's Angels does end up going 3 down, and it's another wipeout as we pop on the tower yet again.
Toward that next checkpoint, checkpoint 3. They passed it. This might be it.
Ooh.
Oh, with the tri-strikes to seal the deal.
Power clams not in play just quite yet, but Huddsies over here just sails it right into that basket, breaking that barrier here. But 3 clams to go, actually 1 clam to go until those penalty points are done. And speaking of, those clams are just coming, and they are not stopping coming. I believe we're gonna have a pity clam jump in. Unfortunately, they whiff it, and
they got it. They got it.
They got it. Really saw a battle of the wave breakers actually here. 2 go down on either side. Now 3 down on Sharky's Angels as Chew Gum is going to be moving forward. They don't have a power clam in their possession just yet, but with most of the map just painted in orange, they are going to have one as soon as humanly possible. 15 total clams to their name, as opposed to Sharky's Angels having that unfortunate 0 underneath that clam economy.
might not maybe as big of a push to end the game, but it's good to stall a little bit. At least keep them on the back foot as much as possible.
Absolute. That's Forge Pro. My bad. I'm so bad at this. Haha. Forge Pro is kind of an interesting pick, but I can honestly see where they're going to be going with it. Unfortunately, two do end up going down onto Sharky's Angels as we're looking like Chew Gum is going to be in control of the zone. We see that Inkjet come out, getting a really nice pick onto those Dapples. It's got...
I think it's the one with the Inkjet, right?
It is the one with Inkjet, that is correct.
It's
really
not
nice.
a special I'd expect in zones, but
they honestly make it work, like 100% here. Now Chew Gum is still in control of that zone. Sharky's Angels unfortunately does end up going 2 down, and now we're looking like we're trying to get into that lockout position here as 3 do end up go down on Sharky's Angels. A really nice delayed wipeout. Randy's just going absolutely crazy here on that splatter shot.
The other spawn.
They're
not even looking at the zone anymore. They don't need to.
They don't need to. Yeah, no, 100% they don't need to. Like I said, this is a really lockout heavy map, and they are playing that to their advantage. Unfortunately, 2 end up going down on Chew Gum as Sharky's Angels moves forward, trying to get that zone underneath their control, and they need to do it fast because we're already down to single digit.
There's only just a ball, and it's a wipeout.
Ooh.
Ugh.
And here we go.
I do want to point out that we have 3 separate instances of triple ink strike, 2 on Nope and 1 on Chew Gum, which is kind of insane, but really not insane when you think about it because we are on Mako zones. Now 3 do end up going down. It is a wipeout, early wipeout for Chew Gum, just easily taking that zone, moving forward into that purple ink, just insanity here from Randy. We saw the tent, like the impenetrable Sorella earlier, but just really doing a good job of holding it all together over by that freezer area.
Yeah, this Tent and Dapple Doolies combo from Ranny and from Tobal is a vicious combo when they can coordinate like they have been. But now Chew Gum is on the back foot a little bit. They have managed to retake the zone without getting a penalty applied. Guardian here goes down to that tent, and Chew Gum are once again in control. They're looking to take more than 2 down here. Randy with the Zuka looking for Melodic, but not able to come up with anything from that Zuka, but able to hold the space with the Tent's Umbrella Shield as the counter is ticking down into the single digits.
Yeah, single digits, and we're not even 2 left on the clock, but in some sort of like sick and twisted, especially for tower control, and especially on this mode because there's a lot of places where some of these players can hide, and that Booyah Bomb can basically force you out into open season, basically. Nope does end up going 3 down. Unfortunately, Chew Gum taking control of that tower. We have been there just riding it straight to that checkpoint, and I think Huddsies is going for a bats play here.
Yeah, taking the ink rail, getting up there in those bats, but Rush has a splash wall out that delays it, but Tobal doesn't care. It can get just inside that wall. There's so much orange ink on the plat of Chew Gum, on Nope, I mean, and Nope are able to use a set of tri-strikes to at least stall the tower a little bit longer, but going 2 down, maybe even 3 down here, Chew Gum are right back in it.
Absolutely. Randy just holding the front line there with a triple, a really solid one at that, just being the frontline tent that every single tent player strives to be, dare I say. And painting into mid, Rush here just trying to get Randy like out of the way with the combination of the whale and that 52.
They are past the first checkpoint. Chew Gum, they'll want to get a stop going. There's a trade up there in bats between the 2 sloshers, and Randy, with that Tens Umbrella coming around from the other side, gets the tower stalled, gets Melodic to drop off just a little bit, and is stopping them once again at that checkpoint.
Yeah, and a really nice double from Randy, too, as we can see that triple ink strike go out, looking to try and get Guardian, and a direct hit on the Guardian makes that a triple from Randy before they end up going down yet again. Nope, in a really tight spot here. Tobal just doing a really good job of moving around those stacks. Gets a really good pick onto Rush here, looking for a pick onto Guardian, gets it as well, and it's looking like Tobal is just going straight for the bats like you wanted Dapple Doolies to go, supported by that triple ink strike. We see that reach slider come out, and I believe We just saw Aura activate as well.
That Slosher out of their bats, but Chugum here able to get 3 down and looking for even more. They are shouting to each other behind us. They are looking Chugum to get the tower moving, and that is a knockout.
That first checkpoint, and now no appears, or they have the tower just past that first checkpoint.
Oh, but it's a wipeout.
Is going to be getting that tower through that first checkpoint as well. They have several specials coming out, but the tower is, at least for a moment, caused by a Booyah Bomb. Nope, looking to try and prevent it from going past where they have the lead, but that is not successful. I am not awake yet. Yeah, that is a reef slider, my bad. But we are getting right back into this tower. The Tentobrella right back on it, putting it down that InkLAN as we see, and there is clear space up ahead. Everyone is a little bit backed up in those bats or on that plat, trying to get ready to put together a push to stop the tower, but it is still going past that second checkpoint.
Better reef slider up on the plat.
Melodic on that CNF charger, able to shut down anyone who is on the tower without anything to threaten that stronghold up there. There's that Booyah Bomb coming out from the Sticker Splatana Stamper, and now Guardian pushing in, trying to take a fight, but that's all 4 going down. So Guardian goes down up in the front, but Melodic on the heavy edit Splatling. Now they have a Tactical that was notably absent from that first game. Randy gets, Melodic gets a trade with Bean there, and now there's 3 players down on the side of Nope, who are looking to try and salvage something there.
Their kills there.
Yeah, those tri-strikes and the tent shield giving an angle in for Chugum to get back. Melodic coming back out, respawning quickly with that Tactical, taking a high ground spot, a defended spot there, trying to prevent much more going on, but with another power clam going in, Chugum are down to 42 remaining and looking to keep scoring. There's Tobal again, getting more clams in, but that big bubbler should be able to prevent any more of a push, and the barrier goes back up at 30 points remaining for Chugum.
They're still up there, though. They're still ready to start another push right away.
Yeah, completely undeterred by that Toxic Mist and the Crab Tank, using the shield to deflect from it. There's a Reef Slider going deep in, and the basket is back open. They've just about got through their penalty. Randy out in a fight with Rush, but both of them disengage. Randy there looking to use that shield, give a bit more space. There's clams available. AoE of the Slosher to get assists on 3 different players of Nope, as Nope are looking to try and hold there. They're pushed a little bit back, the Tent Shield driving them backward, as well as the Wave Breaker. Rush going down, 3 players going down, and that is Bean with Aura here. Another power clam going in. They have enough to knock this out here. If Tobal can score all of those, that is another game going to Chugum, with only a little bit of health left and managing to stay up with that Aura that they've accumulated.
Specials to push in here, team spawn pretty effectively.
Yeah, and now there is that Tentobrella shield to contend with. Huddsies sharking up there on the bed area, but with the Booyah Bomb coming out, that Splatana Stamper goes down despite it, but now the Chugum have taken the lead back, and Rush in a bit of a flanking position, getting behind and forcing Chugum to turn around, but Chugum get the full wipeout as the time goes down to 0.
But here we are getting right into it. Z-tier players in the cyan, Chugum in the pink ink, and we are getting right into it. Ren on the pencil, Storm on the 52 gal, Neptune on the Flash O-Matic, and 49er on that Octo Brush. And Chugum coming back with a familiar comp, except there is a Splat roller here. Huddsies switching off of the Slosher that they've been so used to here, and Chugum able to be the first team that takes the zone. Tobal going down in that initial skirmish though. Neptune using that crab to keep the team away, and the zone has been neutralized. Red up there on that block looking for the flank. Huddsies gets another, does not get another, in fact, goes down to Ren there. Ren trying to escape as that Tentobrella comes in and a jump comes in, but Ronnie gets it, and Chugum still able to hold on to the zone even through that first fight in the first minute of this game.
Absolutely, and the zone just keeps on ticking down. Z-tier players is really in the back foot here, but not for long as Chew Gum does end up going 2 down. Z-tier players has the chance to move forward and get into that zone. They do end up neutralizing and capping it, giving Chew Gum a 54 tick penalty to their name now. And it's now Z-tier players' turn to move forward and try and get that zone under control. Storm gets a really good pick onto that reslider, gets a really good pick onto Huddsies, and the picks just feel like they just keep coming, setting up that ink wall right in front of that elbow area as we see that whale come out, and it's just, they're just going absolutely full force onto Chew Gum.
Yeah, that is Z-tier players setting up in that position. All 4 of them really far forward, even though Neptune goes down. And Ren also on the pencil going down. That's 3 down. That is just that brush left up. Tobal diving in, trying to escape that Zipcaster. The Reef Slider is going to go in and neutralize the zone. Even though they lost the lead, they're not able to take it.
That Reef Slider did not cap that zone, which means that Z-tier players is going to keep going. They're in the single digits now. Chew Gum manages to cap the zone before that it gets any worse to stop the bleeding. A 71 tick penalty for Z-tier players, but if they can hold it until the end of the game, they are going to have this in the bag, and that is going to be a wipeout. I'm not entirely sure what side that was on because so many players went down all at once. Now, Z-tier players did have 2 down in the moment, but we can see that 49er is going to be moving forward alongside Storm with that 52, just doing a really good job of holding that ramp area hostage.
Yeah, the tactical are making a huge difference for this next engagement. Anyone who goes down here on Z-tier players will be back very fast, and even though they lose control of the zone and Chew Gum are able to take it, Z-tier players are coming back quickly. They will be able to set up and respawn before Chew Gum can make the same kind of hold that Z-tier players had on them, especially with Z-tier players not having any specials available at the moment after using that wave breaker from Bean on the heavy splat lane. Bean, they're holding that position, dropping back just a little bit. Ranny getting a pick onto Storm. They are holding the zone. They are almost through their penalty there. Storm on the side of Z-tier players has a Zipcaster ready to go. There is that crab tank coming out from Neptune. The counter is down. Zipcaster taking out Bean. The zone is neutralized. 2 down on the side of Z-tier players, and they are coming in. Ren putting down pain. Tobal trying to delay it a little bit longer, goes down. There's 2 down on both sides, and Z-tier players has the zone once again.
And they need to keep control of that zone. 7-13. The lead differential is nothing too close for comfort here as Z-tier player Storm is going to be going forward, trying to get any sort of flank that they can, but 3 down on Z-tier players as Chew Gum is going to be moving forward, taking control of that zone once again, but the damage has already been done. They are just right back to a really high number of penalty ticks, but 13-7 is nothing to sniff at. Z-tier players has to move forward and get into that zone as soon as possible if they want to keep that first win underneath their control. Less than a minute left on the match now. Z-tier players is going to be getting 2 down. A really nice splat from Bean onto Neptune and 49er. Huddsies here on that splat roller, just setting up a really nice bubble in that elbow area, and those penalty points are almost completely down, and we're moving down into the single digits. Chew Gum manages to take the lead from Z-tier players and take the zone in their stead for a first game win.
This is huge. This is massive. I would call this a massive upset here, taking a game. Z-tier players on the back foot, having to play from behind. Incredible work from Bean there, staying alive. The whole team staying on top of it in the final minute as Bean able to get 2 splats in that last strong attempt at a retake. The crab tank came out and got completely shut down. More pressure with that bomb, maybe able to contend with what Chew Gum are bringing. Still, 52 Gal being a very strong counter to the 10. That is something they're giving up. Ronnie able to hold all that space in that left front side zone that we're seeing on the bottom of the screen. But Z-tier players able to take some space in top mid and get a wipeout.
Really lockout heavy map if you know how to play it correctly. Now 49er sharking right by that dome area, waiting for some unlucky chap to fall right into their jaws. Now Deuce does end up popping that Zipcaster, does get a pick onto Bean, and does end up going down to Tobal. Tobal here with that reslider, not able to get a pick, does end up going down as Z-tier players is still in control of that zone. Storm gets a really nice pick onto Bean.
Z-tier players have quite a lot of control here. Not a lot of time left for Chew Gum. They have a Trizuka here, it hasn't gotten anything until just one splat onto the splash, but with 3 down on Z-tier players, Chugum have a chance here to take control. There's 3 points left for Z-tier players, but Chugum have given them a nasty penalty of 74 points here. Tobal's back up, the only one left alive, gets a splat, looking for another, can't get a second, is able to survive after the Reef Slider ends, and is just trying to scramble, stay alive, gets another pick. Tobal is surviving until they go down.
Going down into the teams, it's 3 down on Chugum now as Z-tier players. Neptune moving forward, just getting really nice pick after pick, just helping the rest of their team move forward, and with that the penalty ticks are done, and so is the match. Z-tier players knocking out Chugum. We are tied up 1-1.
Yeah, Z-tier players have taken their first loss of the game, but in game 1, they took their first loss of the day, but they are not going to follow it up with another. They knew exactly what they wanted here. Another weapon, another special weapon that you see on tower control that can really help you survive through choke points here, with Huddsies moving back to that splat roller here to get a bubble of their own for Chugum.
And now I feel like Chugum is really going to start playing around Randy's tent more often, because it's a really, really good pick, especially for this map here, because we've got a lot of really tight corridors. Like you were saying, Undertow's a good pick, and this is another good pick at that. It's looking like Tobal's going forward, gets a delayed wipe on his Z-tier players. Tobal deep in the enemy spawn, just trying to get any sort of picks that they can while the rest of their crew goes forward to that tower, and we're already almost to that 3rd checkpoint here.
Yeah, there's only 2 checkpoints on this map. It's the final. It is the final checkpoint. Flat bomb keeping them out of position, and Z-tier players past that first checkpoint. They're looking towards the second one. 49er gets a splat onto, gets 2, and now Z-tier players have a lot of control here. They are really looking to take the lead. Ronnie, though, looking to defend, doesn't get anything done. They get pinched. There's a bubble on the tower. They're going through the checkpoint very fast, and they are looking towards a knockout. They have taken the lead, and Z-tier players are on a path to the win of game 3. Z-tier players swarming around mid. They have that cooler up. They have multiple specials coming out, and they will be looking to grab that Rainmaker, but 3 go down. That's huge for Chugum. They're forcing the Rainmaker into an awful position, and now they can move ahead. That's a delayed wipe. They are diving for it. They are trying to get this going.
Now Ren on that checkpoint does end up grabbing that Rainmaker, moving forward with the rest of their team. 2 end up going down on Z-tier players now, and Ren and Storm are all alone in mid, being chased by Tobal. Does end up getting the pick on that Rainmaker as we are moving.
Z-tier players managed to take the lead here. They have gotten through the checkpoint, and they are looking to go further. Storm here using all the weapons at their disposal, using that Trizuka, able to get a splat and getting a path for Z-tier players. This could be it. Neptune loses the Rainmaker and 1 remaining.
Just diving right behind that tent umbrella, and now Chugum has to knock out, but Chugum has the Rainmaker. Randy is going to look like they're going to try and go for that little funny box jump to try and get that checkpoint popped.
It looks like it. They are taking a little bit of time. Huddsies moving forward in the ink that the Rainmaker is putting down. Ronnie having to stay in place. There's that Zipcaster coming from behind and not quite able to get them, but Ronnie diving down there into that low ground. And Ronnie holding on to that special weapon, able to stay alive, able to keep that tent going, jumping out to a teammate as Z-tier players get reset up in mid here.
And speaking of that special, we see that Ronnie has that that Trizuka here underneath their control, looking like they're gonna get a couple of hits on the players of Z-tier. We can see now Z-tier has one down, and it's looking like Tobal's gonna splat that Rainmaker with that Reef Slider. Does get it through the checkpoint finally, but there's less than a minute left on the clock. Looking like they're gonna try and get it into that pit area and just hold it there for the remaining 30 seconds that is left on that clock.
Yeah, Huddsies, though, does drop down and get the splat on the Rainmaker with 3 down on the side of Z-tier players. They still have a brush with the Zipcaster ready to go. Sharking in mid, but gets found out. 49er getting away. Huddsies sees where they're going. Huddsies is trying to get the splat, trying to get another as well. Storm there with that Splash-O-Matic. There's only a few seconds left. Bean gets taken out with the Rainmaker. If Z-tier players goes down like this, this is the set. This is the set for Z-tier players, and that is a win. Z-tier players are your new InkLAN champions.
An absolute absolutely impressive showing from the members of Z-Tier players and Chew Gum as well. Just some really solid gameplay from both of these teams. I am so happy to have commentated this absolutely explosive set between these two teams. Z-Tier players just Neptune dodging behind that umbrella shield, managing to make it all the way onto the goal. It has just been an absolutely insane match to commentate for, and I am so happy to have been here with you.
Likewise, Carney. I honestly, my big takeaway is that Z-Tier players actually dropped a game.
Yeah.
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 Like,
I'm kind of
what's the
like
word?
flabbergasted.
Yeah. It is. It's pretty shocking that, but they took it in stride. They came back swinging, and they were completely unfazed.
Absolutely, completely unfazed. Just really excellent showing from both of these teams. Congratulations to Z-Tier players, but congratulations to Chew Gum for getting in second.
Yeah,
like second
absolutely.
is no easy feat, especially in such a I wouldn't call this like exactly high stakes, but like you're fighting to be our New England representatives for the LAN Championship Showdown, which has been happening all across the country and even in Canada, because we did have a Canadian LAN a couple of weeks ago, which I'm very happy about. We're finally getting our upstairs neighbors in on the action.